Hello, everybody. Welcome back to. Well, let's not do two idiots talking about politics this time. Although
Yeah,
there may be legal stuff that comes into it because we're experts on law.
oh, absolutely. We
Yeah,
don't know any law. We are not sure about our home country laws, but we are expert at law.
yeah, exactly. We're mostly experts at American law because it doesn't matter if we know what that's all
Yeah,
about or not.
it's true somewhere in America.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. I mean, surely there's probably a whole bunch of Americans that agree with what we're saying, you see, and therefore it's got to have some degree of truth. Right? That's
At
how
the
the law
very
works, isn't it?
at the very least, Donald Trump agrees with us.
Yeah, exactly. Donald Trump. What would you do? Well, what do you think will happen if Donald Trump gets elected?
Well, our best option is to migrate to Mars.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
don't know. I mean,
But
at the
does
very yeah.
doesn't America have like some sort of claim on Mars already?
Probably he's already building a wall there and making
Yeah.
the Martians pay for it.
They because I mean, this is me just spewing out complete stuff that I just don't know about at all. But
Well,
don't they have
welcome to the conversation.
haven't they effectively claimed ownership of the moon by planting their flag there?
Well, yeah, I would assume so. Or is it just the continent of the moon?
Maybe, I don't know. But they're the only ones who've actually like landed. Well, actually, they're not the only ones who've landed something on Mars, are
No.
they?
Russia
Russians
and
crashed.
China
Yeah.
have done so, and meanwhile the ESA, the European Space Agency, has done
Yep.
so too.
Oh, there you
So,
go.
well, either they go to war with us because we can we
Yeah.
are the bad people
Yeah.
coming to the moon. um, but yeah, so what would I do, or what would my opinions be if Donald Trump
Yeah.
gets president?
I mean, is it something that terrifies you, or is it just like, oh,
Yes,
just be like every
it
other American
absolutely
president?
terrifies me, and
Yeah.
I mean it would, prevent me from going to America for the next 4 to 8 years,
Yeah, that's
depending
true.
on what happens.
It's well. That said, though, like I was relatively happy when Barack Obama was elected
Yeah.
because I thought he had reasonable views and so on and so forth. And after all those years of Bush and his international policies,
Oh.
I was a bit, I was hopeful of someone who seemed a bit more reasonable. But that said, he was hamstrung by the Congress and
Yeah.
couldn't really do anything that he really wanted to do. I
Well,
mean, it
he
could
did-
very well be the case that is exactly what happens to Donald Trump as well. Maybe all this doom and gloom. If Donald Trump was to be elected, he might just have a staunchly Democratic Congress or something that just shuts down every plan that he has.
Well-
It doesn't give him funding for his wall or anything.
Well, the law, they don't need funding for the wall. It's the Mexicans that pay.
Exactly, of
Um,
course.
But the thing is, well, Obama did get some things like his healthcare reform and stuff. I mean,
But then it got
it's-
pulled apart.
Well, it's
him.
not. It's not what he wanted originally, but
Yeah.
I guess that's politics for you.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's fair to say that Obama didn't get anything done, but yeah, he definitely didn't bring the change.
Yeah, I think he didn't
Borders-
get as much done, or the stuff that he got done wasn't done in the way that he originally wanted it to
Yeah.
be done. I think you can definitely say that. He wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't think it was disappointment as a president, but it was
No.
an opportunity missed, possibly.
Probably, yeah.
Although
So,
that again depends on your perspective. A lot of people didn't agree with
What
what he
what
wanted to do.
happened to not two idiots talk about politics?
That's a good point. We're going to talk about Jim Sterling and digital homicide.
Oh yeah, digital suicide, more like it. No.
Oh, zing.
Yeah, I hope really they are just trying to troll the world, because it's just impossible for a human to be that delusional.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're probably a bit more up to speed on this than I am.
Yeah,
So,
I followed it.
you might be more up to speed on it than some of the audience. So just give me a rundown of kind of what the circumstances are and what led to them.
Okay, so Digital Homicide is an indie developer that releases games on Steam and does so frequently. They have, over the last 1.5 years, have released almost 20 games on Steam. Most of them over Greenlight, and most of it is other shite, as the Englishman in me would say.
Yeah.
Usually Unity games with store-bought assets.
Yeah.
And like it's just the games are just horrible. Like under no circumstances you can call them good. Like the best of them are mediocre and the worst of them are really bad. So and Jim Sterling as a critic has this best of Greenlight or worst of Greenlight trailers. And he also reviews in his Squirty Plays. I think now he calls them Jim somethings. I don't know. But he played
stuff or whatever it's called.
No, it's not Jimquisition. He plays a game. It's like a Let's Play or First Look Let's Play.
Yep.
And so he played the Slaughtering Grounds and made a video of it and criticized the game pretty accurately, in my opinion, for being shite.
Yep.
But it caused the Slaughtering Grounds devs to become salty and butthurt.
Well, look, he should have seen that coming. It's the internet. Everyone gets salty on the internet.
That's true. So they first filed a DMAC claim. So they took his video down on the grounds of copyright infringement, which is not true because you can criticize. And then made
that's fundamental to the whole idea of copyright.
The whole process of reviews.
Yeah.
And then they made a video using his video where the review the reviewer and pretty much go to ad hominems and call him like a leech and just profiting off their awesome game, and he doesn't play the game properly. And so his whole critique is just bollocks.
Well, I mean, they're entitled to do that as well under the same rules that let him say whatever he wants about their game.
Well, it's true, but you cannot take his video down first for that.
No, you can't do that, yes.
And also they just, annotated his video with text over it, lazily imposed over his video.
Yeah.
So there's the question: how much did they actually, make of the video? Was it
transformative or?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
well, for a review, it doesn't really have to be transformative, though, does it? It just
it
can
doesn't.
use something to make something else, and it's got to be different enough. But if you're just criticizing it, it's not a big deal.
But that was just that was 1.5 years ago, and
yeah,
it's only the beginning of the story, the love story that is Digital Homicide and Jim Sterling.
Yeah.
So as they put out more and more games, Jim Sterling criticized them more and more. I'm sorry.
And why wouldn't you? Because it's such good value.
Yeah, and so they got fed up more and more with him calling their game shite, which prompted them to launch. Well, let's say they became pretty much the biggest fans of Jim Sterling. They even coined the phrase "Jim fucking Sterling son."
Yeah, Jim fucking Sterling son.
Which he uses now. I love it.
Yeah.
And well, to stop being harassed by his followers,
Yep.
they started to appear under different names and not tell them who they are.
Yeah.
In turn, I'm using the name of a already established studio, which threatened legal action now. And Jim Sterling exposed that.
Yep.
And he wrote up stuff about them, and he implied that they stole an image, but of DeviantArt without permission. But the image was that's kind of the point of the whole suing. The image is available from Shutterstock.
Yep.
To purchase. And so he printed a correction or put a correction on his blog.
Yep.
And
it really is him fulfilling his kind of duty of care.
but now they sue him over the false information and the damages he did to their brand and their games. Because Jim Sterling has not told his fans to back off and not harass Digital Homicide.
He's not responsible for his fans' actions. It's not like he's encouraging them to go and do it.
That's
Or is it?
exactly... No, he's not. And that's pretty much what everyone except Digital Homicide seems to have realized at this point of time. But Digital
I like
Homicide...
these Digital Homicide guys.
Yeah.
They got some spunk.
They are pretty great. They're two brothers, and they haven't had. There's a Skype interview with Jim Sterling and them, because they wanted the Jim Sterling to see the error of his ways. So they did like a 2-hour interview, and like when you listen to it, it's like, you know, a comedy routine. They are so delusional. It's really funny. And yeah, so they sued him for $10 million for damages incurred to them, emotional as well as to their brand and their games and the lost sales they have incurred. Which is funny because most of their games are like 90 cents on the Steam.
They're going to sell a lot of them though, man. Sell a whole bunch of them.
They got to sell like bunches.
I mean, Jim Sterling's probably the best thing that ever happened to him, to be honest. Because I mean, I've seen the game that what's it called?
The Slaughtering Grounds.
The Slaughtering Grounds, yes. I've seen that game. Oh, I saw his review of it years ago, and it is a terrible game, objectively. So, I mean, I hope they don't sue us now, but you know, it is absolutely horrific. So
yeah.
They would not have been recognised except as being horrible game developers. And, you know, who better to be recognised a horrible game developer by than Jim Sterling, really, because he's got a big audience. Yeah. You know, I mean, we could have been criticising him and we would have still been people saying this is a shit game, but no one would be watching it. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. And so, I kind of like them because they provided endless hours of entertainment by watching their antics.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I really hope they are just trolling or you know, making a stick out of it, making a modus of operandi.
Well, I mean, it seems like the sort of thing to me where they are just really trying to keep themselves known, really. I mean, it doesn't seem like no one could possibly be that
dense.
Yeah, exactly. It takes a certain type of person to really think that there's grounds for a lawsuit in that.
True. And, you know, I wouldn't put it behind them, but I truly hope they are not serious about this, because, you know, it will not help them in any way. They will be destroyed.
Yeah.
At the battlegrounds.
Because it will cost an absolute fortune. And like if they actually did go to court and do it all properly and actually have a hearing, then because I mean, Jim Sterling's not going to settle out of court.
No.
When he's so clearly in the right. If
they plan on just him saying, I have my $10 million, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But
funny.
That being said, They also don't have a lawyer yet. They want $77,000 from people by GoFundMe means, which they have raised $190 already. So they are on a great way to their $77,000.
Look, I reckon Jim Sterling should fund them for their legal matter, and then when they finally have success and they get to have a lawyer so they can actually really go through the legal process, he should lodge a countersuit. So he should ensure that it goes to court, then lodge a countersuit, and then sue them for $10 million, and he'll probably make a profit. I mean, I can't see how it could go wrong.
That's a good idea. Jim Sterling, are you listening? We want in on this. We call it war bonds.
Yeah. I mean, and we can then sue Jim Sterling if he goes ahead with it, because it was our idea.
Yeah.
And he never paid us for it.
Maybe
the right
we
to.
can then run the Jimquisition channel.
Yeah, exactly. And then we'll finally get
Well.
some people watching it, and the views will drop off dramatically.
Of course they will.
Yeah, I think it's
Every
fair.
good thing gets ruined.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah, I'm interested to see where this will be going. Just for the hell of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous, really. And
Yeah, it is.
I don't know.
And
You gotta wonder whether people
but
are really.
you know, it's
I mean,
it's
you
fun.
do see people though sometimes. You're like, how can someone really be that dumb?
Yeah, it's true. There are.
There are idiots in the world.
Yep. And there's one born every minute, they say.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, I'm just interested in it for the fun, because the only way I can see this ending is with Jim Sterling owning Digital Homicide, like literally owning their company, and probably everything they have in assets in this world.
Tell you what,
Yeah.
I'd rather be playing a Digital Homicide game right now because I've died on this one spot of this game about 8,000 times. I mean, if they had $1 for every time I've died in this game, they would be at their GoFundMe goal already.
Yeah. That's get into esports, Digital Homicide. If you play as well as you program, what can go wrong?
Exactly right. On the topic of that, I was watching, because I didn't really pay much attention to the Game Awards in 2015.
Yeah.
But I was watching like something about it on YouTube just the other day, and it was really bad.
Okay.
Like there was some really dubious decisions in there. Like, I think Splatoon won Best Multiplayer Game. In what universe was that the best multiplayer game in 2015?
What? Sorry?
Splatoon.
Platoon. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it won the best multiplayer game.
What is
There's no
Splatoon?
way that was the best. What is it? Have you not seen? Well, there you go. I mean, that's a fine indication in and of itself. But yeah, it's basically you paint an area of.
Oh, Splatoon, not
Yes.
Platoon.
Splatoon,
Okay, yeah,
yes.
I know Splatoon. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. No way. I mean, okay, yeah, it's okay. It's a decent game. It plays well enough and all that sort of stuff. But best multiplayer game of 2015?
How can a V game be the best multiplayer game?
Well, that's true. That is true.
Like, seriously, like, for the 15 people that own... No, I think the Wii U has a pretty... But, a console that has no games except Splatoon.
Yeah.
Well, probably
it's
they
going
have
to be
to
fairly
get
popular
one.
on that platform.
Yeah.
But I mean, in a year when something like, for example, Rocket League was released, how can they possibly, in any good conscience, give it to Splatoon?
No, just no.
Yeah. And there were many other dubious things, as well as the fact that the production on it was just cringeworthy.
Like the Dota tournament.
Yeah. Oh my god.
that was cringeworthy.
That stuff's going. I mean, that was horrific.
That was so cringeworthy.
But also, I mean, I was just watching the EA tournament, Counter-Strike tournament yesterday, and you've got to wonder about Counter-Strike sometimes. Basically, what happened is, in the middle of the game, one of the players' clients disconnected, so he went to rejoin. But in the time between when they'd started the game and when he disconnected, Valve had released an update for Counter-Strike, and therefore his Steam started to download the update, and he couldn't rejoin
the server.
And then everyone had to quit the game, including the people who were commentating and everything, so that they could all update their clients, so that everyone could rejoin.
Awesome.
And
that's really awesome. Well done, Wolf. Let me give you a golf clap here, because that is probably the single most hilarious thing I've heard in recent times.
And the thing is, that's not the first time that shit's happened. Like, I think it happened in a game like in one of their
Oh.
major tournaments, like
Oh my
a couple of
God.
years ago. Because this is not a major tournament. This is not a Valve endorsed tournament. It's just a professional CS:GO league.
That shit is hilarious.
But yeah, it's crazy. How does that
Holy
stuff sort
crap.
of happen? I mean, for a company who has a number of professional like esports
Yeah.
games with professional leagues, it seems like that stuff just doesn't factor into how they consider
No,
like releasing
no.
elements of the game. It's crazy.
And you would think they would give an opportunity for Steam for tournaments to have like a separate update server.
Exactly. That's all they have to do is say there's an embargo on updates at this point until
not even
for the-
an embargo and update. Just have like one computer that acts as a Steam server for the tournament.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's kind of what I meant. Yeah.
You know,
like everyone else
they-
gets updates, but not that particular
exactly.
thing. Yeah.
They just stay at a certain version, and they can even download stuff if their client is corrupted or stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can download the tournament version of this, and but yeah, that's
No, that's not how Valve rolls.
that's not no. Wolf doesn't care. Honey Badger doesn't care.
Oh, indeed. And probably most of the audience listening to this doesn't care either about our opinions because they're mostly
No.
wrong. But
Yeah,
if they do care, they can come back and listen to us talk a little bit more next time, maybe.
absolutely.
And I'll probably still
Thank-
be on this same damn part of this same damn level. Oh, God, it's killing me.
And I'm probably still just clinging on to winning in Rocket League.
It's nice for some. Well, I suppose we'll leave it there for today.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching or listening or whatever you did.
We'll see you next time. Peace
Bye.
out. Bye.